Hi everyone and welcome back to a new video on the how to make a POLARISPROG style game series. In this video we're going to be taking a look at how to make purchasable areas in our game. So if you get close to an area, we'll say E to buy. If you press E, you can press no. We'll say, do you want to buy this area for $100? You press yes. We'll subtract some money from your coins and you can now go to the next area. Also, if you guys want to support me and want to have access to all of my project files, including the one you're watching right now, the map will be included, the asset pack will be included, and the scripts will be included. They will all be available on my Patreon in the $10 tier. The link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. With that being said, let's start. Alright, so what I'm going to do is work on the door buying system. So first we're going to set up our doors. So what I'm going to do is add a surface GUI to a door. And I'm going to add a text label to it. Now the text label size will be 0.3, 0.3, and I'm going to change the anchor point to 0.5, and we're gonna change the maybe the position to 0.5, 0, 0.3, Alright, so that looks pretty good, but what I'm gonna do is scale it down a bit because I think that's a bit too much. Or maybe it's perfect, actually. Yep, that's perfect. I'm gonna change the text scale property to true, text color to white, or maybe even nice yellow. And I'm going to change the text to, for example, 500. And what I'm going to do next is change the background transparency to 1 and the size or text scale property to true. And the font to Fredoka 1 because that looks kind of good. And I'm going to change the color of the text actually to just white so that I can give it a gradient. Now select your surface GUI, check always on top, and set the pixels per stud to 20 or maybe 30 or actually maybe 10. I think that's better. It looks kind of pixelated, but that's how you're gonna have to do it. I think that 10 is a bit too much, so maybe 15. Yep, that's perfect. Now I'm going to rename my text label to price display. And I'm going to, or actually price label I think is better, price label. And I'm going to change to add a UI gradient to it to make it look a bit nicer. I'm going to click these 3 dots and start from a nice white or light yellow to a nice white maybe. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to change the rotation to 90 degrees. And I think that's good. Now I'm going to add a text stroke or UI stroke. And I'm going to up the thickness. And I'm going to just make it white. Okay, that looks kind of bad. So I'm going to go back to my UI gradient and make the, okay, maybe I can make the color nice, be like this, and it goes all the way to, okay, why does it do this? Yeah, maybe I can get rid of the UI gradient and change the UI stroke color to black, and maybe I can just keep it like this, and I can change the text to $500 $sign. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. Now I'm going to add a part to this. So part, I'm going to rename it to proximity part. So proxy or E part, or maybe interact, maybe proximity part. I'm going to position it right here. And I'm going to make sure that it's anchored, and I'm going to change the transparency to 1, and I'm going to add a proximity prompt to it, and I'm going to make sure that the part is not collidable, and make sure your proximity prompt requires line of sight property set to false. And I'm going to change the action text to buy, and the object text, for example, 500, just a test. And we're gonna make sure that the key is E. and the whole duration is 0. And if I play the game now, that should work. Play here. And let's see. Okay, so as you can see, we have this E to buy thing, and it's visible. And now what I'm going to do is make it actually work. So first I'm going to delete this door, copy this one, and duplicate it, move it right here. And what I'm going to do is, inside of each door, I'm going to have a number value or a string value, and this is going to be called price. Now I'm going to copy this and paste it inside of this one too, and I'm going to rename the second one to 2, the second door. And I'm going to set the price of the first door to maybe 100, and the price of the second door to maybe 500. Now what I'm going to do is go to start player scripts, client modules, and I'm going to add a module script, and I'm going to call it purchase door. Or where is it? Where's the module I just added? Okay, it's this. I'm going to name it to door client. And what I'm going to do is get some services. So local workspace is equal to game get service workspace, and we also need replicated storage. So local replicated storage is equal to game get service replicated storage, and local maybe we need, okay, I'm going to, I think this is all of the services we need. Now local shared is equal to replicated storage with child shared, and local doors is equal to workspace with child doors. I'm going to change this to actually I'm just going to get rid of workspace service. And what I'm going to do in here is for underscore comma door in pairs doors get children do, and v or door dot price or dot surface GUI dot price label dot text is equal to. And what I'm going to do before this is get some modules. So local format is equal to require shared with a child format number alt. I'm going to do text to format number format standard, and I'm just going to put door to number door dot price dot value, and that's going to be it, I think, or dollar sign, and I think that will look good. Okay, so after doing this, what we need to do is maybe task dot wait maybe like 1 second before doing all of this, or maybe 2, or repeat wait, or maybe game dot is or is loaded on wait, or actually I forgot how to do this. Okay, repeat task dot wait until game con is loaded. Okay, that should work. Or maybe task dot wait 2. Okay, now what I'm going to do after putting this to that, now what we need to do is door dot proximity part dot proximity prompt dot action text or dot object text is equal to, and just copy this line of code right here, this section, put it in here. And now what you're gonna do is just copy this and not copy the dot object text, and do dot triggered on connect function. And what we're gonna do is in here I'm going to do function module dot prompt purchase door, and we're gonna do module.prompt purchase and door. Now what we're gonna do in here is get players service. So local players is equal to game get service players, and local player is equal to game colon get service or actually players dot local player. And what I'm going to do right here is, okay, so we need to prompt a nice GUI. So we're gonna make that nice GUI. So what I'm going to do, go to start GUI in main SS, and I'm just going to duplicate this display coins, or okay, I know how to do this. I think I'm going to add a frame. I'm going to set the size of this frame to 1,0,1,0, and we're going to change the background transparency to 1. And after that, what I'm going to do is change the anchor point to 0.5 and the position to 0.5, 0.5, 0. And I'm going to rename this to frames. And I'm going to duplicate this frames frame, and I'm going to parent it to the frames frame. I'm going to rename this duplicated one to purchase door, and I'm going to add another frame to it, and I'm going to position this one however I want, scale it up a bit, put it maybe right here, and I'm going to position these two to the center of the screen, and I'm going to add a UI corner to this, and I'm going to rename this to main frame. And I'm going to make sure that the corner radius is 0.03,0, and then I'm going to change the maybe add a stroke, UI stroke, and we can maybe up the thickness a bit, and we can copy the color of this stroke, paste it in here. That should look good. Now I'm going to add a text button. And I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to go to plugins, unique conversion scale. By the way, this plugin is available in the description. It will make sure that your UIs are scaled correctly so that they work with every single device. I'm going to make sure that the button is scaled and that the main frame is scaled too. And now I'm going to maybe put this in here. And I'm going to make sure that auto button color is not checked, just so that it doesn't do that annoying thing. And I'm going to add a UI corner, and I'm going to set the corner radius to 0.1,0. And I'm going to change the background color to nice green. I think this green is good enough. Now I'm going to change the corner radius to actually a bit bigger. So maybe 0.3. Or maybe 0.2. That looks perfect. Now I'm going to set the text scaled property to true. And the text color to white. And the text to maybe buy. And the font to Fredoka one. And I'm going to add a UI. I'm going to duplicate this UI stroke, put it in here, and I'm going to maybe, okay, so we're gonna have that, and maybe I can lower the thickness. I'm going to duplicate this UI stroke and set the other one to border. So we have a stroke for the border and a stroke for the other. For the text, and I'm going to rename this to buy, and I'm going to duplicate it, put another one in here. I'm going to call this to cancel. I'm going to actually rename this to yes. I'm going to change the text to yes. Yes. I'm going to change this to no, and the text to no. I think it will be better. I'm going to change the background color to a red color. I'm going to center these, maybe put them right here. And then I'm going to add a text label this time. So text label resize it, put it right here, and I'm going to set the background transparency to 1, text scale property true, text color, I think this is good. I'm going to also change the font to Fredoka one and make sure to convert it to scale. I'm going to change the text to, do you want to buy this area for, and underscore that. We'll change this later. I'm going to change the color of the text, so text color to maybe a nice, okay, I'm going to get this the color of the stroke right here. I'm going to put it there, the text label color, the color of the text. So text color, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, that's good enough. I'm going to make sure that everything looks good on mobile, and yes, everything does look good. Now we're gonna make sure that okay, so select your purchase door frame, not the main frame, the purchase door one, and make sure that visible is not checked. Now I'm going to enter the door client one, and I'm going to do right here, local player GUI is equal to player child player GUI, and local main SS is equal to player GUI, point for child main SS, and local frames is equal to main SS, point for child frames, and local purchase door is equal to, or purchase door frame is equal to frames, point for child purchase door. Okay, good. Now what I'm going to do right here is do purchase door frame dot visible is equals to true, and after making it visible, I'm going to do, okay, so we're gonna do purchase door frame. Okay, we're gonna create a connection up here. I'm gonna do local connection, local by connection, or local by btn connection. And right here, I'm going to do buy button connection is equal to, and purchase door frame dot buy dot mouse button one down colon connect function, or the mouse button one up. And in here, let me think about this. Okay, so we need to buy the door. So in here, just fire remote event. So I'm going to go to remotes, and I'm going to add a remote event, and I'm going to call it buy door. So buy door, and I'm going to do replicated storage dot remotes dot buy door on fire server, and we're gonna send the door. And then what we're gonna do is just, okay, let's think about this for a minute. Oh, okay, that's pretty simple, I guess. We can just do purchase door frame dot no. Also, what I forgot is that this is yes, so just change this to yes. Purchase door frame dot yes, and this purchase door frame dot no dot mouse button one up on connect function. All we need to do is buy button connection colon disconnect, and then you can just do frame, so the purchase door frame dot visible is equal to false, and we're not gonna do anything then. But when we press it, we're gonna add a script to server modules, and I'm just going to go to my main server script. I'm going to do replicated storage dot remotes, or okay, dot remotes dot buy door dot on server event connect function. That's gonna give us the door. And what we're gonna do is actually change this to a remote event. Very sorry, but I'm going to add a remote event, and I'm going to call it remote function. Sorry, we're gonna call it by door, and we're gonna change this. Instead of doing the on server event, you're gonna do is equal to function and do door player comma door, and right here, what I'm going to do is check if player dot stats if to number player dot stats dot coins dot value is greater or equal than door dot price dot then to number door dot price dot value, then, and we're gonna check if the player does not own the door already. So we're gonna do if not player dot doors find first child door dot name, then, so if he does not already own the door, which we don't actually, we don't really need this, sorry, since we're not going to be able to purchase it again when we own it. So let's think about this for a minute. We need to subtract an amount of coins from the player's coins. So player.stats.coins.value minus equal and door.price.value. And then what we can do is just return true, else we're just going to return false. And in here, what we can do right here is just delete. And here we're going to do local result. I'm gonna go back here and we're gonna do local result is equal to this fire or invoke server instead of fire server. Okay. Now what we need to do is check if result is equal to true. Then what we're gonna do is door.proximity prompt proximity part dot proximity prompt enabled is equal to false. So we're gonna disable that, and we're gonna just copy this, paste it right here. So we're gonna make this invisible, and after doing that, we're gonna change the door's transparency. So door.transparency is equal to 0. Or we're just going to get rid of the door. So door dot transparency is equal to 1, and the door dot, and maybe we can change. Okay, can collide is equal to false, and now we can play the game and see if this works. So actually, what I forgot to do is just in here we're gonna do else. And we'll just copy this. So just put this right here, else, and we can just print not enough coins. Okay. So let's see if this works. Okay, so we have a problem right here. By door is not a valid number of remotes. Okay. Replicated storage dot remotes dot by door. Oh, dot on server invoke. Sorry. Okay, let's see if this will work. Okay, that will work. And I'm just going to get close to this and try to buy it. And when I press E, nothing happens. Okay, let's see how we can fix this. So what I'm going to do right here is we're gonna print triggered, and in here we're gonna print bold. And see if this works. Okay, so that doesn't even, okay. So what I'm going to do right here is print just some random thing. I just print A. Oh, I know why that didn't work. Sorry, I forgot to go to the client and add this to 6. So the amount of modules that we have is now 6. Okay, so that should work now. So this is $100, 100 coins. Okay, so yes, it's not a valid number of. Okay, that did not really work. I know why. We forgot to do .mainFrame. Same thing here. .mainFrame.no. And this should be .mouse button 1 up. And this should be .mouse button 1 up. Okay, good. Let's see. So we're gonna do this. Okay, so it works. And if we press no, nothing happens. If we press yes, not enough coins. Fair enough. Let's see. Let's get some coins. I'm going to change my coins values. So coins to 500. I'm going to be 600. And I'm just going to try to purchase this. So yes. And as you can see now, it is transparent and we can go through it. But what we forgot to do is make sure that this text is not visible. So just do door dot surface GUI dot enabled is equal to false, and that should work now. I'm going to set my default value of my coins to 1,500. Let's see if this will work. And let's see. So we can buy this, buy, and it works. Great. Okay, so that works. And what I'm going to do is just get rid of these prints. And I think that should be it for today's tutorial. If this helped, actually, what I forgot to do is actually update the text. So what I'm going to do is just go here. I'm going to do purchase door frame dot mainFrame dot text label dot text is equal to. And what I'm going to do is copy my current text. So do you want to buy this for space format standard, and we're gonna do door dot price dot value, or two number door dot price dot value dot $, and that should work now. Okay, let's see if this will work. So, do you want to buy this area for $100? Okay, so that works now. Great. Okay, so I think this is going to be it for today's tutorial. If this helped, make sure to subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!